My name is Joe Ranne, and I'm with Portage Bay Solutions.
Awesome. All right. And Joe, where are you located?
I am located in Omaha, Nebraska.
And Joe, can you tell me how you got to pause this year?
I tend to take any opportunity that's not in Nebraska to ride my bicycle there. So I decided to ride to pause from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and followed this route. It was called the Trans-North Georgia route, and experienced as many backcountry Georgia roads as I could get.
That's awesome. How long did it take you to get to pause?
About 4 days. Yeah, 4 days and a couple hours from after leaving Chattanooga.
Very cool. It was so fun to see like all these cars pull up. I think there may have been a motorcycle and there's like a van and then there's a bike. It was pretty
Yeah,
awesome actually.
there was a big moment for me when I was crossing the Appalachian Trail and I was about an hour away from pause, where I kind of just let it soak in, and I said I'm doing this. I've been wanting to ride to pause. This is my second pause I've attended, and last year I couldn't make it because of the storms. Kind of bogged me down. It
Yeah.
got really bad, and so this year it was just such an experience to be able to actually ride to pause and pull up and complete the tour that I wanted to do.
That's awesome. It was your finish line. It totally was. Like finished one
It,
thing, start another.
yes, exactly.
Very cool. So tell me about your experience once you did get to pause.
Pause itself, last year was my first year, and I came in with zero expectations, and so coming back for a second year, I was just really excited to meet a bunch of developers that I had never had a chance to talk to. Really just talk shop with a bunch of people that have had similar experiences, as a developer for a number of years. So I came in with an excitement to really dive in and not just talk shop, but get to know some developers who I've never had a chance. And being in Omaha, Nebraska, I don't have a lot of opportunities to talk to other developers in the FileMaker community. So it was really just about building some relationships and seeing seeing what everybody's experience is.
Very cool. Now, did you do a session? Did you help lead one?
I did. John from Portage Bay and I led a session on. It was just API, like working with new APIs. So we led a discussion primarily on what everybody's experience has been with integrating FileMaker with different APIs, what tools we use, just kind of a general long-form discussion on APIs.
That's awesome. I didn't attend the session, but I was in one of the main areas when people were going to it, and it was cool to see everyone because you guys did it in the pavilion, right?
We did. Last year at Pause, we and for lack of better words, we made everybody hike over to the tree house, which is on the property, and that was such a huge hit last year. We wanted to kind of recreate that experience, and unfortunately, the treehouse was booked for our session, and so we
Ah,
found this lakeside pavilion that was, given the fall colors and the reds and oranges that were popping up on the hillside, we had a fantastic view over the lake, and with the background of the hills, it kind of just puts you into that, fireside camp environment, and everybody was really willing to chat and take in the whole experience. So it was great.
that's awesome. How did the presentation go? Did lots of people talk and have things to share about it?
Yeah, lots of good conversation. I came away myself with a couple tools that I'd never heard before, and so I've been excited to integrate those into my workflows. Just seeing, what other developers, seeing that the other developers have the same experiences, same issues, same achievements, and so just being, one, able to talk through those, and two, offering myself and other developers who've had experience as a resource and really pull together to help other developers get through some hurdles they've been having. So it was, all in all, great conversation.
That's awesome. Were there any other conversations or sessions that stood out in your mind?
I went to Tanner's session on productivity, and that still, I think about it every day. As I look at my environment and how I've been working in the same office space for a number of years, what have I become, complacent with, and what things should I optimize? what areas of productivity could I increase. Just really making me think through my normal routines. So that was a great one. A lot of great stuff to
Cool.
come out of that. What other sessions that really struck chord? There was I forget her name. The girl did one on sales, and that was interesting just to see. I'm not typically a salesman, so coming in with a different perspective and just learning about her experience and hearing that conversation was I really enjoyed it. So.
That's awesome. What about some of the other things that happen at Pause outside of sessions? Was there anything that sticks in your mind?
A lot of it is based on conversations I've wanted to have with other developers for quite some time. So other developers that I've never met really before, like John Sindelar and even Todd Geis, I've never really had long conversations with. It was really pleasant to just talk shop a little bit, learn about their likes, their dislikes, their hobbies. I love backcountry gravel and like dirt roads. And so finding common ground with some of the other developers and hearing them, recommend different places. I've got quite a list of roads to check out now. Just stuff like that. I really enjoy those moments where we get to explore the world and talk about that with other people and share our experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the location itself? Do you think that adds to the whole Pause experience?
I do. I'm predisposed to outdoorsy environments, so I love the North Georgia. That season, especially the hills. They're being that I like to spend a lot of my time in the mountains. I look at Georgia or the Appalachians in general as large hills, and there's something that you can't find anywhere else in the U.S. About the Appalachians, where you can see, million-year-old mountains and have an idea of what those things used to look like and experience those firsthand, and also be at a developer conference. That's just two environments that don't happen together very often. So I love that area for Pause.
That's awesome. Oh, good. What did you think about Pause as an art project? That was something we pushed pretty hard at the end there.
I am not artistically creative myself. I'm an old musician, and so people always argue the fact that I have to be artistically creative as a musician. But when I look at music, it's all very mathy to me. So I love I love calculating song structures and building out modes, things like that. So for me to be more immersed into a artistically creative environment as a developer was outside of my typical, my typical personality traits. But doing that as a group really allowed me to try to express, myself in that way. So that was, what's his name? Aaron?
Adam Aronson, the guy.
Adam Aronson. That whole session was fantastic, and I love. One of my favorite things about being, on a bicycle in remote areas is you get to experience the sounds of nature when you actually sit and stop and experience the space. And that was such a great moment for me, just to sit and experience the sounds that were occurring in the Georgia Appalachians with a bunch of other developers who may or may not have been just as uncomfortable as I was. It was great.
Yeah, totally. It's an experience, right? Regardless of, there's going to be all kinds of different emotions, but there's definitely a range of experiences that everyone's having together. Yeah. What about, so Pause next year is going to be at the same location. Is there anything that you hope will happen next year?
This next year will hopefully be my third Pause. I still feel like I'm a rookie in the Pause arena. So I'm hoping more of the same, a lot of this, more conversations, more getting to know other developers that I have yet to talk to, spending time with the developers that I do know. But I've already started plotting routes, bike routes from like the North Carolina area.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. What advice do you have for people who have never attended a pause and or haven't attended pause at this location? Do you have any advice for them?
As I tend to come into an experience with an open mind, so I would highly recommend not having any expectations come into pause. When I first started my first year at pause, I was expecting to talk shop the entire week I was there, and while that did happen, I was much more excited about the conversations that were happening outside of the developer area. So I would say if you're going to come in uh, the talk shop the whole week, you can, but really allow yourself to open up to other avenues of conversation because there's a lot to be taken in from other developers' experiences.
That's great. Awesome. And I guess after now that we're post pause for a couple of weeks, have you been able to stay in touch, or have you talked to anyone from pause afterwards?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've known Michael Sloper and see Alan and a few other developers for a number of years, so it was good to catch up. But I also got to meet some musicians who I had never talked to before, and there was a moment we had then what was it, the second night where we did the campfire with the s'mores. It started raining. The group kind of started to break up, and so me and Michael and Alan started walking back to the cabin area, and we stopped at this gazebo, and we were just kind of chatting about life when a musician and his friend pulled up with a guitar, and we ended up staying there for another hour and a half, 2 hours, just playing music, and that was a great moment. Like I wish I could bottle that up.
Oh man,
So
that's great.
yeah.
I love it. Very cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to say about pause?
I really appreciate the work that you guys, that you two have, or all of you have put into it. It's a tremendous experience for a guy who's in the middle of nowhere who rarely gets to talk to developers. So I very much appreciate this opportunity.
Very cool. Oh, I'm glad. It's fun to put it together for sure. Well, Joe, thanks for doing this and for chatting about it and for being a part of the community and being part of Pause. I mean, it's we talk about it being an art project, but it really is an experience altogether. So thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, thanks. So bye.